Get With the Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And we are here to recap 22.1 and maybe predict 22.2. We got pretty close last week, which was...
You got
scary.
close. You got close. I did not get close.
The podcast got pretty close, but, gosh, man, a lot of stuff to get to. I've had a whirlwind of a week physically. And
serious
kids, dude, I got so many crazy ass traveling kid stories. I already told you this. It's like, I feel like Dylan is a magnet to getting sick right before I'm supposed to leave.
Dude, his timing literally is impeccable. It's almost like it's like he is in sync with your travel schedule.
And here's the deal. When it comes to that, it's like, leaving home is tough on my wife because she's a full-time attorney. Right. And so she has a hell of a work week and oftentimes has to work on the weekends. So when I disappear and it's two kids, like when there's daycare, there's great. But when Dylan gets sick, he has to be home, which means she has to be home. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to work with a sick kid. Then last week, because Texas, the day I left, it rained and then froze. So the city shut down and now all of schools and daycares and work were closed while my son is sick, dude. I was like, bro, I feel like you are purposely doing this to me. It's doing my wife no favors and it's doing myself no favors. It's like, hey, I get to leave again, and it was rough.
Yeah, totally. Dallas is weird. Texas is the weirdest weather anyway, but Texas. I mean, yeah, it's so funny. Every time, I always get a text. I see the sack shot, and then it's like, well, Dylan's sick again. Well, every time.
Or, Wadapalooza this year, I was like, the day before I was supposed to leave, Dylan gets COVID.
I know.
I texted, was like, hey,
so
not coming. But we are here to recap 22.1, give our own personal experience, a little review. We'll save the mainstay analytical side for after the open. We'll analyze the programming after all three weeks of competition. But and then we'll give a little preview of 22.2. We gave our 3 predictions. If you guys saw that on our Instagram page. If you didn't see that, you can go follow. We put it up in all of our reels. And you can see Bill and I's all 3 predictions for weeks 1, 2, and 3. But now that we have one workout available, 3 movements off the board, that can change some of our guesses, which is what we will do today. But before we want to get that, we want to thank our partners of the show, Bubs Naturals. Go to bubsnaturals.com. Use code GETWITH20 for 20% off everything, every time. It's your MCT oil powder. It's your collagen protein. I just had it this morning. I'm trying to limit myself to one, but it's like one big one. I think there's like 3 cups of coffee. Like a cup. Like I could drink coffee all day.
Don't you go all blasphemy over there, dude. Don't you start saying, I need to cut down on the caffeine.
No, I'm not.
Have you seen, I think Rory had a picture on his Instagram where it's like, it's just one cup and it's like a gigantic mug.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like I have one of those giant Yeti cups where there's like 4 cups of coffee in it. So I can nurse that for like a good 2 hours. Like,
there you go.
It gets to the 5, the 6, drop my kids off. And then I even come back for the 8:30 and there's still some in there and it's warm. So, I mean, I'm not cutting it to one little cup. I'm just, sometimes I'll fill it up again and that's probably a bad idea, but it's because Bubs Naturals is so damn good. I can't help it. And so if you guys want to improve your coffee addiction, go to bubsnaturals.com and use the code GETWITH20 for 20% off every order, every single time. And it is open season. It means you need to video review. And on the Wattproof app, I even videoed my injuries that I sustained in the first round of the workout, which I posted on my social media page. But it's not the only thing, because now that I jacked up my calf, I should have specific targeted mobility. And Wattproof has something called Bionic, which can get me back in the game faster.
Yeah, that whole this is their new deal that they've done. So they went from just a video submission setup to trying to build a community, to going into the Pro Pack, which is access to all kinds of different 12-week programs, to the next jump up, which is using AI to look at you and how you move, and then appropriately assess where your mobility issues are, and then be able to program a complete daily mobility set up for you. So whether that is your issues that you're dealing with or specific workouts that you are doing, you can plug in the different work or the different pieces of that workout for that day, and then it will give you mobility elements for that. So that's the Go Bionic. It's $19.99 a month. It is by far the most awesome thing out there to make you better. Not just, I mean, we already know, especially as you get into the master's realm, you are dealing with old school injuries and your new school injuries. So mobilize that stuff out. Get yourself moving as best as you possibly can so that you can get the most out of every single one of your workouts. You have to check it out. Wadproof Go. Get Bionic. Go Bionic. My
We
God,
still
it's
need to
awesome.
do at our competition. Although I'm gonna need some time to get get
Ah.
get
I'm
myself
actually I'm actually
back
on my
in order.
second. So every month that has you reassess. So I'm up for my
Oh, okay.
reassessment. So
Cool.
I'm gonna try and
Have
get
you
that done either
improved?
today or tomorrow.
Have
I'm
you
gonna find
improved?
out. I haven't done it yet, but
Oh,
I'll
nice.
post them up. I'll post them
Okay.
up.
All right. Post them up because I want to see if you got better in a month. Before we get to our recap of 22.1, we want to thank Element 26. Go to element26.co. Use the code GETWITH15 for all your CrossFit accessory needs. We had we have doubles. We had box jumps, wall walks, and dumbbell snatches. You needed some thumb tape for sure for the dumbbell snatches. Their thumb tape is one of a kind, super soft, very sticky, but it doesn't stick to your thumb when you take it off. And it's also super pliable. So your thumbs actually move. They're not in that little, athletic tape thumb cast
The
like
thumb cast.
the old school used to be. And then when the workout was over or every mid workout, you could just take it off because it wouldn't stick to your thumb. But that's not all they have. Hand grips, I think that's on the way. Weight belt, I think that's on the way. Knee sleeves, wrist wraps, sweatbands. You got everything underneath the sun. Go to element26.co and to make sure you use that code GETWITH15. All right, so we are here to talk 22.1. It was obviously you guys all watched the open announcement. If not, go back and watch it. It was good to be back in front of the camera. It was good to have an open show. It was even better to have a live audience finally. I tell you what,
Yeah,
man, sports suck when there are no fans in the stands.
totally.
They're
It's
awful.
it
Like, the Olympics were unwatchable.
it's the energy is, like, sucked out of the room. It's
Mhm.
literally like when you walk into the gym all by yourself and you work out.
Yeah,
It's that exciting.
with like
I
no
mean, you
music on.
just no, there's the yeah, totally. It's boring.
It's
But it was yeah,
depressing.
I'll tell you what, it was really fun to watch. It was fun to watch you guys. It was fun to watch the athletes. It was fun to watch just the energy of the people. I
Oh,
mean, I'm
man.
sure being there felt a lot different, but, like, just watching it from the outside was a huge difference too.
That was nice. It was nice to have it back. This week, I believe they're going to Columbus, Ohio.
Mhm.
So where that may be, I don't know if you guys know anything about Columbus. I'm pretty sure there's probably
I don't know anything in Columbus, Ohio.
yeah, there's nothing tied to CrossFit there at all. So we'll see. But let's talk 22.1. So actually, I don't even know what you got.
You when I saw your post this morning about how you fell and everything, I was just like, "Okay, you're a dick." You
Oh,
crushed that one.
thanks, man.
10 rounds?
Here's the thing. So yes, I got 10 rounds. But this is a wheelhouse workout for me. It's all breathing. I'm a very good jumper. Wall walks, there's only 3, so that
Right.
wasn't even an issue. And then dumbbell snatches for sure, like that wasn't the problem. It's like there's no heavy bar. Like this
Right.
was wheelhouse for me.
Yeah.
And the only thing that upset me was I'm doing this like 30 minutes of cardio a day for the year. And I mix up everything. Like I anything monostructural, run, row, bike, ski. Um, I added burpees one day, and this is actually where this injury started. So I was in the hotel late at night. I had to get my 30 minutes in, and there's a treadmill. I was like, okay, I can jog on a treadmill for 30 minutes. And I was wearing like shoes I never work out in or I never run in. And like 10 minutes in, my calves are getting tight. I was like, this sucks. Like, this hurts. I'm on a treadmill. This is no fun. And I hated it so much that I decided to do 15 minutes of burpees to finish out my 30 minutes. Well, I come back to Texas and it's Friday and I just go for a jog. I feel great. And in the middle of it, out of nowhere, my calf seizes up to the point like I can barely walk. And so
Dang.
that was frustrating. And I was really mad because I was really excited about this event
Yeah.
because It's just box jumps and breathing, and I can do that. And it's box
Yeah.
jump overs with a step, which is even better for me because now I
Yeah.
don't have to rebound, which I wouldn't have done anyways. But
Right, right.
so I thought it was good. Like I nursed it back, I got worked on, and in round 1 on rep 14, my calf pops, and it's just instant pain. And I should I have done it? Probably not. Did the open workout do that to me? No. Like I had
Right,
already
right.
damaged this thing twice and I let pride get in the way. And then I let pride really get in the way because I didn't stop.
Yeah,
And
but
so I
okay.
jumped off one leg. I mean, both feet, right? But like it was one leg off and then one leg on. And I just spun in this circle of hatred and rage for 15 minutes. So, but thank you.
Well,
I'm happy
no,
with what I got, but
you crushed it. I got 8. I got 8, and
nice.
I mean, I'm happy with what that was. I mean, I know that I haven't been training at all, and literally this was I mean, I did everything I do not tell my athletes to do. All the athletes that I program for, I'm like, "Okay, here's the warm-up you're gonna do, and I want you to do an EMOM of the movements, and I want you to make sure you get on the bike and get your heart rate up and blah, blah, blah." Mine was I walked in, I put the box down, I put the dumbbell down, I said, "Okay, let's start the clock, 3, 2, 1, go." Like,
Classic.
literally, I didn't do 1 rep. I didn't
You
jump
didn't
over
do
the
a
box.
rep?
I
I
didn't
did
do
at
a
least
rep.
I did 2 rounds of 1, 2, and 3 at
I didn't do
least.
anything. I just
Shit
hopped right
too.
in and just went for it and I was like I mean, I didn't feel bad.
Mm.
For me, I know it was a gas thing. I mean, more
Oh,
than anything
total gas,
else, you
yeah.
know? I mean, like, I can move fast on all of the movements. It was the transition between where it
Mm.
caught me, and, you know, 8 rounds, if you figure anywhere between 5 to 10 seconds on every single transition, which does not se it
A
sounds like a
lot.
lot when you say it like this, but that's a lot of time,
There's a lot of
and
transitions.
that's a lot of transitions, totally. So, what it did for me, though, was it gave me a very good understanding for what to tell my athletes, um, when how for them to set up. I mean, like,
Right.
I had one athlete that I was working with here at the gym, and, um, I was like, "Okay, here this is not about speed in the movements. This is
Mhm.
about going from one movement to the next movement to the next movement with no break. You can't go, "Oh, let me catch my breath for a second. Let me put my hands on my knees for a second." It has to be you are done with the boxing, you walk straight over to the wall, lay down, and start moving. You know, like you have that's the transition. Don't try to blow yourself out on the box jumps. I mean, my box jumps were way faster than most people that I saw,
Yeah, yeah.
but there were a lot of people that beat me, and I was like, "Well, what the hell happened there?" And it's because of the transition.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it really came down. Like I the workout was super fun. It was very fun. I loved this. I think it definitely split the group. Um, it was okay, people who want to play out on recess and they want to let's do this wall walk thing. Let's have some fun and see if we can get this, and you know the excitement of that person inching their hands every single little bit to get to that
Yeah,
line and then
right.
making their way down. Super cool. But for everyone else that didn't have issues with the wall walks, like it really came down to the box jumps and gas, and it was just that,
For sure, for sure.
you know.
Um,
So I it was super fun, super fun.
dude, it was, answer this question for Dan really quick because he put it in there. Pace slow and too slow and safe. When and how do you plan to go harder and go full dummy? That's a really good question, Dan.
Not the first
No.
3 minutes.
Not the first 3
Everybody,
minutes.
everybody went too hard on round 1.
Yes,
Everybody went too
including
hard on
Noah
round 1.
Olson and Bethany Shadburn.
100%.
Um,
Um, my first comment to all my athletes was, "In round 1, you need to go slower than you think you should.
oh,
If you
yes.
think you should go slower than that."
Yeah,
Because everyone will get like 130 on the first round or 125 or whatever. People start just getting all
yeah.
crazy. And then round 2, it's like all of a sudden the next one takes like 215. And it's like,
Right.
no, that was not what's supposed to happen that way.
I told people
So,
take 3. Take 3 rounds to figure it out. That's what I said.
well, yeah. I mean that this because of it being 15 minutes, there
Yeah,
was very easily 3 parts to this workout.
yeah. I mean, unless you're
There was
trying
your
to get
start.
8 to 10 rounds, that's different. But even then,
Well,
you
I
can
mean, yeah,
you
if
can
you're
finish
like
well and get 8. You just can't slow
If you're
down.
like Kristen Holta or something like this and it's a wheelhouse, it's like, all right, well, just throw the throttle down and go,
Yeah.
you know?
So, my 2 cents on that question for Dan is that, when you look at this, the hard thing is, like, every workout's a little bit different. Like, even having the ability to at the end is dependent on what's at the end, right? Like, if we're doing a increasing weighted ladder, full dummy ain't gonna happen when I get to the end of that. In fact, full dummy should never happen when it's weighted like that. But a workout like this where it's all gas, you gotta save something for the end,
Yep.
right? You gotta set yourself up, and usually it can be time dependent or it can be round dependent. So, for example, like, if my goal was 10 rounds, which it was, and I get through round 8, I'm like, okay, now, regardless of what the clock says, this is a 2-round race, right? So I want to set myself up for those 8 rounds to give myself an opportunity to send it for the last 2. I can't send it for the first 2 and think I can hold on for the last 8 rounds. So that's usually the cat and mouse game you play. You want to It's not a negative split per se, but it's like saving something for that final push, right? So if you're doing like
Totally.
a 500-meter row, you don't want to row a 115 on the first 100
Right.
and then blow up at the end. You want to row like a 125, then maybe you can hold the last 100 back under a 130, something like that. I only use that example because we're testing a 500-meter row today.
Well, I mean, there's an element of pace in everything. Even like if you were to be on the track and you're running the 400 meter, it's still the same. There's
Yeah,
still a
it's never a
pace. I
full
mean,
send.
no, but I agree with you on that. You have to be able to finish strong. And I saw people that were, I mean, I saw a lot of people that were really good for the first 7 minutes. I mean,
Yeah,
really good. The problem is that really good was overextending because then the last 7 minutes, they'd go pop, pop, pop over the box, and then it's like, and
yeah,
you'd see them go to hop up there, and they're barely getting their feet on the box. That whole like Bambi leg kind of thing.
yeah,
But you're right. I think you have to have an understanding of what and if you don't know as an athlete, ask your coach, like, hey, not everything is an EMOM, but you can kind of set up a time
yeah,
domain to give yourself a realm, and to kind of see what that feels like.
right,
A lot of athletes, I think more experienced athletes are, real intuitive about how they feel and how to go and where to go. Um, but I mean, I think for most, they need to have someone that just says, like in that first half, first third of that workout, it's hey, breathe,
right,
breathe, so
right,
that you can. I mean, if you want to talk about going, full dummy, okay, you have to have gas to go dummy.
right. You also have to have the right
Otherwise,
movements to even do that. Like, you
yeah,
can't do that
totally,
with thrusters. Like, I can't do go full dummy on thrusters, but I can with box jump overs or like burpees when there's
yeah,
really. And a lot of that with full dummy at the end is you gotta be able to trust your body
totally.
that it can do the box jumps or the bar facing burpees. Like, that is also a huge part of it. Because like the box jump overs, the way it was, programmed, you're not really gonna miss one of those. I mean,
I did
well,
hit the
someone just
corner.
said,
I
"Did
did
you
hit the
corner it?"
corner. I got a little shin
A
bite
little
on
over.
one of them.
Oh, Dan, did you hit it on the way, like, did you short it? What'd you do?
Well, it's kinda, I mean, I do the whole you're standing at that 45-degree angle, and my
Mhm.
feet
Oh,
when
kinda
they land on
turning.
top of the box, yeah. When I land on top of the box, I don't go where both feet hit exactly at the same time. There's almost kind
Right.
of a skip.
Like a
So I
1-2.
know it allows me to always make sure that I have one foot on the box at least. So
Right.
I'm not gonna, like, end up on my face on the ground. But
Yeah.
if that back leg, that trail leg kinda drags a little bit,
Oh, you dragged your
ka ka ka,
tail.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
and, like, that's gonna happen, right? You're under
totally.
fatigue, you feel one jump was good enough and not. um, what I mean is, like, it's not gonna be too high for the majority
No,
that you need to
no.
actually take a break, right?
No, 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 no.
You're so winded, your legs are burning, and, like, when you're landing low and stepping off, that quad pump is just sucking the air and the life out of your body, which is the purpose of it. Um, so before we get to our predictions or guesses for 22.2, your overall, um, just quick little feel of 22.1.
Mine, loved it. I was very I think, depending on the obviously, we didn't know what the movements were that were gonna come out. We played
Right.
with whatever we thought it was gonna be. I thought it was interesting at the end of the show when, Justin Berg said that they were gonna use Dave Castro's workouts.
That's what he
Well,
said.
if we knew that in the beginning,
Mhm.
I would have said wall walks because that's the way Dave operates. Dave, I would have said like, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely have wall walks in there."
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't expecting in the beginning.
Right.
Um, the way that it came out with the movements, I liked it. It didn't put too much emphasis on the gymnastic-y piece, so I think it was real inclusive, as far as, what the general population could do. Um, you know, I don't know what it looked like originally, but I really liked it was fun, man. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And it made everyone hurt. It was very classic CrossFit-y. It made everyone hurt. Everyone felt, sucking air afterwards, and it was good.
I would say classic CrossFit for week 1 of the Open.
Totally.
Week 1 traditionally is something all the masses should have access to and ability to do. Now, there's obviously exceptions to the rule. Is like, listen, that dumbbell's really heavy for me. I suck at wall walks, so that box is scary high. Like that's just going to happen when you have a breadth of 275,000 athletes taking your test. But for the majority, the overwhelming
Right.
majority, everyone could do this. We had people RX this workout that have never RX'd an open workout before, which was super, super cool.
Yeah.
Dan Paul. Okay, so I have are you surprised? So this question from Dan. Are you surprised that CrossFit used Dave's workout for the first 3 weeks? So, A, yes. B, these aren't actually Dave's workouts. Like they're taking an outline from Dave, but these aren't completely Dave's workouts. And I know that because someone who programmed the workouts texted me that these are not the workouts at which were programmed by the person
Uh,
who prepared them. So I'll
m
just
m my comment to that would be
Schmave Smastro told me.
yes. Yes, and, uh, it it kinda seems weird that it was even announced the way that it was announced. Like, if
Yes.
you're not using the workouts or you're whatever, tweaking them or whatever, then just say they're your workouts. I mean, what are you gonna say that if I have thrusters and
Yeah,
pull-ups
if
in a workout that's like, I'm copying Fran? It's like, "No, I'm making a workout."
yeah.
I didn't it's like that to me, personally, I just think that that whole scene was weird. That was weird.
Well, yeah,
I
so
would have
it's
never
like,
said that.
we're using Dave's, it's like, but we're not. I was like, "Okay, so they're not Dave's."
So then why say it?
I don't know.
So I thought it was weird.
Well, imagine
I'm just
sitting
answering
there
the que no, I'm
imagine
answering the
sitting there
question. I think it
asking
was
the
weird. It's
question.
weird.
Um, but, yeah, so let's see. Oh, well, thank you, Bruce. Yeah, so they're not completely Dave's workout. They might be inspired by Dave, but they're not actually his workouts. I do think it's I mean, look, we do this all the time though. And to be fair, is like we're like, hey, that's a great idea. Hey, we're not going to use Dave's workouts, but that was a cool one. So let's twist it the way we want it to and then produce it to the community. If that's what you're doing, then just say that.
Which again seems really weird to why even say it because it just seems like a heated topic,
It seems like, are you
you
kidding me? That
know?
was like the only
Well, no,
thing we had our question about.
I'm being 100% facetious when I say that. It's like
Oh, yeah.
you're saying something like that okay, so then you're not using them. So then why if someone says, "Hey, are you using Dave's workout?" Say, "No."
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, to say that you are, but you made minor tweaks about it, like, that to me seems like, why are you saying that? Every workout is a minor tweak of something that Greg Glassman did a long time ago. If we're
True.
putting burpees and thrusters and pull-ups and cleans and whatever in it, like, are we not modifying all of those and adjusting them? And like, that just seems weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who
So,
that was
if
supposed
anybody
to.
had questions there, no, they're not. Um, Before we get to 22.1, thoughts on I had a lot of people ask me about Boz.
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, what do you think Boz is gonna be?" We touched on this a little bit, in another episode, but, what are your thoughts about Boz being the next man in to headline that? Now, Boz isn't gonna do him by itself. He's talked about that before. It's like he's gonna have a group of people isolated from any other programming thing. Like, I don't question like, "Oh, is Cap gonna do this?" Like, I don't think so. I think they're trying to create a group that is completely siloed from any outside programming thing. That's why Rich isn't going to do it. That's why Matt's going to do it. That's why Bergeron, like none of those people are going to be a part of the programming discussion because of ties to other things. So there's no conflict of interest. And
Yeah, good.
you know,
They shouldn't.
exactly. I think that's great. And
Yeah.
my thoughts on Boz is like, look, Boz is cut from the same OG cloth as Dave. Like they were lockstep for 15 years when it came to programming this. And Boz judged and head judged, and then he became more and more involved with like competitions and his I can't remember his title now. I mean, all the titles get all over the place, but
Right.
like Boz is at the ranch with Dave going through the tests. Boz is in the room with Dave while they're brainstorming how to do this. Boz is at the games early trying to set up the field. Like he's done that. He's OG. He knows the test and the importance of that. And he has a high level of integrity when it comes to making sure the test is appropriate. So
Yeah, I think, I mean, if it's not gonna be Dave, have the guy that's been around as long as Dave, been working on the workouts. I mean, I guess you could say he was like an advisor to Dave. He would be like, "Hey, Boz, what do you think about this?" And ask for his opinions on that.
yeah,
The difference would be that he was, as far as I know anyway, he hasn't designed the way that Castor has. He's been more of an advisor of, or let me look at this. But
yeah,
I do like the fact that he comes from, and I, with all of the judging stuff and the standard stuff, he's gonna
right,
have a particular look that maybe Dave wouldn't have necessarily seen. When you are creating it, you aren't looking a lot of times, like, you see it from a particular angle where Boz isn't normally on that side.
right. Okay, that's a good
He's
point.
gonna be from the other angle.
Yeah,
They're still looking at the same sculpture,
mhm,
but there's gonna be a different eye with that. And now that
yeah,
he is going to be on the creative end of it, whether he is the guy or he has a team or however it ends up working. I mean, I I cannot see a programmer. I can't see it being a massive collective. I can
no,
see
I
it.
don't think it's a large group.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
a led group by Boz. Kinda
yeah,
like how, I mean, granted, Dave was used to doing it all by himself, but he led the group to
mhm,
say, "Here are the things that I want. How can
right.
we make this look right? Does this look Here's some things that I came up with. Does this look right?" So, I mean, if you had to pick someone else, I mean, yeah, I think Boz is awesome.
Yeah, I think those that are worried about the future of the sport as far as the programming perspective, I don't think you need to stress too much because I think I, I can't think of a better person to use in that setting that has more experience with Dave, not even under Dave, like with Dave. Like those guys would get in fights at the CrossFit Games about how these things were structured and like so,
Yeah.
you know, Boz isn't one to push around either.
Well, and totally. And the other thing that I really like about Boz is, we always talk about, if we're constantly pushing the line in the CrossFit Games, like, I mean, Dave, and even Justin says like the CrossFit Games, there isn't a line. It isn't like you run the same race all the time. It's you have to
Right.
constantly improve and constantly improve. And when you are constantly trying to improve, there's always the chance of
Mhm.
dipping into that um that gimmick, that game show, that are you really testing fitness or is it a sideshow kind of
Oh,
thing that you're
yeah.
trying to do? With Boz coming from the judging perspective, he's going to be thinking about standards. He's going to think about, how does
Sure.
this look? Is it something that we're able to really judge? What are we judging when we see it, when we're seeing this? Not only standard wise, but now judging wise, what does that look like with the movements? Are we really using the correct movement to get to the right people, rather than let me whip this up from scratch kind of a
Yeah,
thing. So I think there's a
a good
cool
point.
view that can come from that, with Boston that I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Um, ask this question. Wex Appeal. What's up, bro? Do you think Dave has an NDA to not release the workout information if they're using his blueprints? As far as I know, no, he does not. He is choosing not to release the workout. So the reason why you haven't heard him do it is because that's his personal choice of not to. He could if he wanted to. I don't think he's I don't think the exit is official as far as papers have been signed of Dave's departure. So I think there's still a lot going on behind the scenes that I have no real knowledge about. But from my conversations with Dave, is that he is choosing not to, because I was like, "Hey, how close is this?" He's like, "Not that close." It's like, "Oh, okay." What is it? He goes, "Not going to tell you." I was like, "Okay, fair." He's like, "Maybe I'll use them next year." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what that means." Um, all right, so 22.1. I will say this: the one thing that I liked, again, this is the advancement of the sport, is they standardized the lines for the wall walk. So they didn't make it height relative as far as the distance. I'm cool with that because then it's just playing by the same playing field and not making the easy it's not making easy for the easier people. Like, it pays to be short in a wall walk, and if your line is relative to your body height, then it's even better. So the fact that there's a line standard, I think it's nice because now we know what to train. Because in my gym, if we're practicing wall walks, I am not going to draw 15 different lines every class for people. And we haven't. I just said, listen, this is what they use at the games. Like, since the CrossFit games, like, this is what they use. We're just going to assume that this is what they're going to do. And fortunately, I was right.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing I liked, and I'd love your opinion on this, is forcing people to step down off the box for specifically the open. What were your thoughts on that?
Um, Going to the line, first of all, I think the line standard is fine because it makes it easy. There's not all this silly
Yeah.
judging, where are your shoulders really sitting,
Right.
all that kind of
Right.
stuff,
Take all that crap out of
you
it.
know?
It's like a handstand push-up box.
Right, totally. I think that, I mean, unless you're really short, um, that makes it a little tough, but for the most part, everyone was pushing back anyway, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I like the line to me, almost the only line I really think you really kinda needed was, the back line, like how far are you going back?
Oh, I
But
see.
that's fine. I and they made it easy, so that was nice.
I like it
Uh
better than the other one. I'll just say that. Like, is it
No, yeah,
perfect?
totally.
Nah,
No, totally.
but I like it better.
I mean, it exactly like you have the wall ball height, and
Ah,
I'm talking the 10-foot height. There will be
right.
some people it will be easy for, and there'll be some people that it will be harder for. It just is what it is.
Life.
Box jump, same thing.
Right.
If I'm 7'5", then the 24-inch box jump is no big deal. If I'm 4'10", the 24-inch box jump is a big deal,
You're 7'5",
or
like,
a
why are you
bigger
doing
deal.
CrossFit?
Yeah, totally. But okay, my opinion, and this is coming from a master's perspective even, is this.
Hmm.
I don't think that I think that forcing people to step down for safety's sake
Right.
is not right. I
Okay.
don't think that that movement is were there people that, and this is the thing, everyone like went all crazy about, like, everyone's blowing their Achilles out on the box jumps.
Well, I mean,
Okay, well, I mean, I will say this, if you are an athlete, you should choose to race the way you wanna race.
fair.
Um, it would almost be like saying, well, like, okay, you could technically pull your back if you are lowering the dumbbell down under tension and trying to have it bounce off the bottom. So to do that, to stop that, you have to put it down, stand up, bend back over, and grab the dumbbell again because we want to make sure it's safe. Like when you start drawing the line of safety for the sake of safety over the race, I think that
Yeah.
kind of gets blurry. Does it save people's Achilles on this one? Yeah, totally. Could people have done this rebounding? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would I have rebounded? Not even, not at all. But
Absolutely not.
but it should be that, um, it should be that you can get down however you want. Because if we're telling people that they can jump all the way over the box and that counts, why wouldn't you be able to say you can come down and get back
Yeah,
up and over the box any way you want? It just I think it gets you that should be the athlete's choice, not the judge's choice, I think. That's just my personal opinion,
fair,
you
fair.
know?
Um, I didn't hate it. One, because we don't let people rebound in the gym because we're just working out. We're not doing
Yeah,
a CrossFit competition, and I mean a legit CrossFit. Like the Open is a CrossFit competition. We've said that 100 times.
yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from. I think the one of the reasons that I was given from Boz was with the number that they have programmed, and this was like the preface of 15, which is a shitload for the number of rounds most people were going to get, which is, well, I'll say more like people trying to be in the elite categories, like 10 plus. If they allowed rebounding, it would have forced everyone to rebound if they wanted to stay competitive. And that would, and this is if this is right, the onus is always on the athlete.
Totally.
It would have encouraged people who should never do that to do that to stay competitive, which in turn would be the cause of injuries, Achilles, and things like that. So they wanted to take that out to keep the volume in and not worry about the danger of that. That was the
But
reasoning of
which
God.
no, and I get it. I mean, I understand it. To me, uh,
I tell you what, if there was
t
rebounding, then I would have been screwed.
well, why? You would have done exactly what you would have done.
I mean, I would have done, but everyone else would have possibly done better
Possibly,
overall,
but, here's the thing, though. Now everyone's gonna be going a lot faster on those box jumps. Heart
right?
rate is gonna be through the roof. So if you thought your heart
Yeah,
rate was up
maybe it could have
on
been
this one,
worse. True.
so, I mean, that's what I mean. I think it should be up to the athlete on how it's kinda like saying, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna be doing high volume pull-ups, so we don't want you to do butterfly because you might end up doing too many if it's an AMRAP.
I
So
mean,
you
that's
have to do them
a
you have
fair
to do them,"
analogy. Yeah,
you know?
I get
And
it.
I'm saying I wouldn't have done it any other way anyway. I would have stepped down
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
but because of the volume. But that's, me understanding where I am. If someone chooses to not be intelligent about their body, or if there is a chance of an accident happening,
right.
that is competition.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I mean, I hate to say it, but shit
I get it.
happens,
I get it. No,
So, you know,
I think for let's see.
and I see, yeah, so
This
this
is
question right here from
if
Damien, I if the PFAA, if they said that, I mean, personally, I'd be like,
so
"No,"
I do think they had a part in this, from what I heard.
about with the step down.
Yes. And that their reasoning was allowing the rebound is going to force people to do that action versus just keeping it a playing field of whatever. Like call it safety or whatever you do. I don't I think for the open, I don't care as much because we have such a big group of people that it's unnecessary because it's just quarterfinals coming up. So yeah, let's make sure everyone's safe and not stupid, right? Because sometimes you have to protect people against themselves. I get it in a competition setting, it's whatever. I look at the open as it with a little different eye when it comes to that because I'm in your camp too. Competition's competition. Shit happens. Play the game the way it's meant to be played. Here are the rules and go fast. Quarterfinals, semifinals, CrossFit games, don't care. I don't care. It's just that's the next level and that's what it takes to get there. Then that's what it is. Like you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
To me, I
Um,
think all they had to do was say, "Okay, everybody," like, after they do the event and they give the little tricks and tips or before they do it, whatever, and they're like, "Alright, guys, so
yeah.
here's the thing about the movements." You just mentioned that. Say,
Oh,
"Hey,
dude.
there's
Yes.
a lot. So, if you're planning on rebounding,
Yeah.
understand that you're gonna be doing a high volume of box jump overs. If that is your choice, that's your choice."
Yeah. I was fully prepared to say that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Just because, look, there's entire, and we said this because of the GHD stuff too, right? Is that,
Yeah.
listen, this demographic you're giving this to doesn't need this. Like, this is actually dangerous to give them that many GHDs because they're the perfect candidates to get rhabdo because of
Right.
this specific movement, which is in your level 1 training guide, which was we're
Right.
still miffed about. Like, that was the thing. I look at this a little bit along the same lines. I know it's a little different. One is like inherently dangerous because that's just the movement, not how you do the movement in this case. But God, fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say it on the broadcast. I was like, hey, listen, if you're elite and you want to win, this is what it takes. If you are not, don't do this. If you're deconditioned, if you're over 30, do not rebound ever. Like, it's
Yeah.
unless it's like the last round and you're like, if I beat this guy, I'm going to go to the CrossFit Games, then rebound, take a chance.
See, because that right there, that it takes that out. Maybe
I get
I
it.
pace myself up to it by doing my steps and doing my steps, and I'm into the last 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and it's like, "Okay, I need to get more. I need to get going faster." Well, I should have the ability to do and rebound it if I choose to rebound it. Like, that should be my choice, not like, that's what I mean where the rule, it just I get it, trying to
Yeah.
be safe, I understand, but, like, I'm sorry, like, again, in any competition, it is the athlete's choice to choose what they wanna do.
You
Otherwise,
get
we're all holding hands and it's like grade school, okay, who can walk to the bathroom fastest when we're all holding hands,
it. No,
you
I
know?
totally get it. I'm
Yeah.
providing the information that they gave me.
It's all
I
good,
I
dude, I got it,
didn't I didn't I don't hate it. I really
Yeah,
don't. Like, I get it. I was like, listen, if we want to hold hands for these people because it's a community event, it's a worldwide open event, it's presented as that. It is still a competition, right? This isn't Wadapalooza. This isn't semifinals. There's a difference. It's like, hey, we can all play, and yeah, we'll slow these people down so you people don't try to be these people because you're not these people, but you
so
think
then
you're
give
these
them double
people.
unders then. Because here's what
I
happened,
get it.
remember all the
Yeah.
double unders we did last
Yes.
time with the wall walks?
Yes.
No one worried about calves and Achilles on that.
Because nobody could get there because the fucking we had to do 15 wall walks just to get. No, we had to do 55 wall walks just to get to the last 210, which was not happening
Right, right.
for me. But no, I get it, and we just want to have the discussion on both sides. It's been a topic so far. This is one of the bigger ones I've seen,
Yeah,
based on the programming. But overall, it's a classic week 1 open workout for me.
totally. Yeah.
It wasn't it I mean, it hurt because, like, if you did anything for 15 minutes really hard, it would hurt, but it
Right.
wasn't, "I'm gonna go to failure here. This was too heavy. This is too many." It was just, like, churning and burning. Oh,
Oh, dang.
oh,
Give me
touche, Wex.
if I if
Program
I c
for
if
your
I could put a
best
big old heart on that, I would.
and scale for the rest. You're right. You're right. I mean, I can't say you're wrong. We say that shit all the time. We had an argument on Instagram with somebody about that. No, program for the shitty ones and make the big ones, best ones say they're better than everybody by going RX plus.
Parks plus
All right.
plus.
So that was our topic for 22.1. Now, me and Bill gave our predictions, our 3-week predictions for what it was going to be. We're going to retool it, reorder it. I got really close, so close that I thought I was going to get in trouble. So, your week 1 guess was the repeat of the box jumps and deadlifts ascending ladder. Was that
Yeah.
14? 14.3?
14.3 is what it was, yeah.
14.3.
Yeah.
My guess was very specific because I said 4 wall walks, 8 regular box jumps, 16 alternating dumbbell snatches. So 4, double at 8, double at 16, and an AMRAP in 12 minutes.
I personally would have liked to do that one instead of this one because that would have made the snatches way more.
It would have been the snatches way more. You would have had to do legit box jumps where you had to stand up, and that
Yeah.
extra wall walk is a game changer.
Oh,
And
huge.
truncating it down to 12 minutes would have really
Yeah.
Slice it up. But like when I was eating breakfast with Sean, because so we usually get the workout, you know, a little bit before the announcement. And I was like, "You want to hear my guess?" He goes, "Sure." And I told him my guess, and he goes, "So you should probably check you should probably check your email." And I was like, "What?" And then I looked at it, oh my God. Now, fortunately, already announced it and posted it before I even knew what it was, but obviously, I've been in this game a long time. I know what to do and not to do, but it's the closest I've ever gotten. Like,
Yeah.
that was a huge shot in the dark. So, with that being said, we have 3 movements now off the table. We have wall walks, dumbbell snatches, and jumps. So, with that being said, I know you had wall walks in one of your ones coming up. Is that the one
I
with the overhead
did.
squat you had? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, had my wall walks. I had 3. They were sets of 3 on that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you got that right. Okay, so what did you retool for your guests now that we have those 3 off the board and a style of workout, which is the 15-minute time frame AMRAP of churn and burn? What do you have? What's your guess for 22.2?
So mine, I think on this one will be our 2-piecer. Rather than like trying to push that towards the end. I can see this being in the middle. So what I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
do, I'm gonna actually continue on with one of my events because I still like it, one, and then
Is this
two,
your 22.31, but now you're gonna put it 22.2? Okay.
yeah, yeah. So my 22.2 A and B prediction will look like this: 21:42:63 is round 1, 15:30:45 is round 2, 9:8:27 is round 3 of bar facing burpees, pull
Oh,
ups, double unders.
ow. So the bar
Okay,
facing burpees are going 21,
21,
42,
15, 9.
63. Oh,
21, 15, 9.
got it.
The
I got it.
pull up
Okay.
42, 30, 18. Your
Okay.
double under is 63, 45,
Oh,
27.
got it. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Okay.
When you are done with that, and I think I had on there like a 10-minute cap, but if you finished,
Okay.
your rest time starts. So you only have 2 minutes between that in part 2.
Okay. I think we had something like that in 2018.
Yeah, yeah.
2-minute break. Okay.
Yep. So after your 2-minute break, B starts. B is 10 minutes AMRAP, max bare complex reps,
Oh.
95 and 65.
Oh.
Yep.
Just 10 minutes max?
10 minutes max. If you stop
How do you
anywhere, like
score it?
you put the bar by rep. So one rep is it's 1 point whatever. So like the clean
Oh,
is
okay.
0.1,
Yeah.
the front squat's 0.2, push jerk is 0.3, the back squat's 0.4, and the last one would be the
Push
actual
press.
rep. Push or that's a what did I say?
Push
Push
jerk.
press. Yeah, push press.
So that's
Um, that would be 1.
1. Okay.
Okay. So you can rest the bar at your waist
Okay.
or
And then
in the front rack or in the back rack or overhead, but if you rest on the ground or regrip on the ground, you're done.
what about the hip hinge hang?
You know what?
Rest on the hip.
I'll say your hand you're fine. Your hands have to stay on the bar.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is because if you're going to do that for 10 minutes, like it sounds like oh yeah, I got this. I got this. Do that for 2 minutes.
Dude.
Could you imagine? Yeah.
So
It'd be
it's
awesome.
basically for time, part A,
For time for part A.
or reps if you get capped.
Yep, yep,
And then for reps in part B,
yep.
and if you basically put the bar down, you're done.
You're done.
10 minutes of that.
Yep.
Fuck, dude.
I don't think very many people will get to I don't think people will get to 10 minutes. It's a long time.
No way.
It's
Not
a
after part
long
A.
time. Exactly.
Dang. I like that.
I think it'd be fun.
It's unique. I like that.
I mean, I was thinking that should be the heavy and like trying to make it heavy. And I went back and forth on that one a lot, actually. But in my original setup, I had increasing weights already. So I had increasing overhead squats and I had the increase in deadlift. So
Right.
in my original plan, I already had my strength piece, so I was looking for some
Okay.
reps on this one. I still want to hold it with that because I still think it'd be fun to do. I actually saw something like this similar um, at the Northern California Classic that
Yeah.
Blair uh, Blair Morrison and Ben did,
And
and
all the
this
men.
was they did one of these events, and it was you had to advance forward every I think it was like every 3 reps or something like
Okay.
that, and a 3 rep was a full deal to see who could go the furthest, and everyone was great in the first half of it, and then it just smashed people, and I
Ooh,
was like, "That is awesome." It was a good
dang.
one. Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna retread one because it still fits. This
Yeah.
actually was my 22.2 prediction. I sent this to you. We actually tested this in the gym a couple weeks ago, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's an interval style one, like work rest. And I don't think that there's going to be a repeat this year. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. And so I wanted to repeat something that is repeatable or something that people have done. Dave used to do this with Diane in the open. And so here's how it's going to start. You're going to do Grace, 30 clean and jerks at 135 and 95, rest 2 minutes. And then you're going to partition that into 3 rounds of 10 clean and jerks and 10 bar facing burpees. Rest 2 minutes. And then you're going to do Gretel. So you have 2 benchmark workouts in here. Gretel is one of the new girls, and that's 10 rounds of 3 power clean and jerks and 3 bar facing burpees. And they did this in the semifinals. And I want to say the virtual semifinals. This
Yeah.
was also a workout. So another repeat that has been done. Rest 2 minutes and then 30 bar facing burpees at the end. So you have your Grace, which isolates your clean and jerks of 30 reps. And then you have 2 partition set. One is 3 rounds of tens, the other is 10 rounds of threes. So it should be easier to do with smaller sets. And then at the end, we put the 30 bar facing burpees. So it's 90 and 90 total of clean and jerks and bar facing burpees. The 2 minutes is actually decent enough that you have to go hard and you can kind of recover. And then putting the bar facing burpees at the end is like, it doesn't really matter how tired you are. You can do these how
So
fast you want.
is it a 4-time total?
So it's a 4 time with a time cap of 20 minutes. So
Oh,
that
okay.
that cap is really, really tight.
Yeah.
So the best athletes are going to get a time. The rest are going to get an amount of reps. And their tie break will be the time to finish each set. So you
Okay.
get a time for Grace, you get a time for the 3 rounds of 10 and 10, you get a time for Gretel, and then you get obviously your time at the end,
Okay.
your tiebreaker. So it's a 20-minute long window with 4 different interval workouts back and forth.
You could do you could still do a time, but just add a second for every rep that wasn't completed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could set it up
Right.
that way.
So you could probably log in your reps and it would just generate a time for you. So
Yeah.
you were 50 reps short, your time is 20:50,
50. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
That's cool. That'd be fun. God, that's a lot. Ugh.
It sounds like a lot, but after doing it, it was awesome. Like
Really?
it was perfect. Like for an open workout where it's ground overhead and bar facing burpees, right? Which we've done 20.1,
Yeah.
right? It's it's the right weight. It's got 2 benchmarks in there. There's a lot of gameplay, especially early on, and then later there's less, right? Grace,
Totally.
like, okay, what do I do? 3 sets of 10, fives, singles, unbroken. What do I do? What's the plan? And then you get to the 3 rounds of 10 and 10. There's still like, do I do touch and go on the clean and jerks and slow on the burpees, or singles and then fast on the burpees? But then you get to Gretel, you're like, I don't have a choice.
Right.
I don't have a choice. And then you get the burpees, like, I really don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So it hits you with those bar fisting burpees at the end when you're at your most fatigued.
Which, if we talk about going back to the comments, when you wanna go full dummy, that's where you go full dummy.
Exactly. You have a full
Yeah.
dummy opportunity.
Yep.
And it was awful, but it was a classic open feel. Like the
Yeah.
way I felt during, I was like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. And then you hit that point, like, I'm not okay. It was super fun.
That's
So
a good one. I like that.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Everybody hated it when they saw it, but once really like to a person, everyone that finished afterwards was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot, but we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, that was super fun. 21 or 22.1 in the books. 22.2 will be released on Thursday, noon Pacific, and we'll have a live show between Laura Horvath and Emma Lawson, which I find that a very curious matchup.
Dude, very
I was
odd
like, are
matchup.
you just like throwing her to the wolves? Because Laura is like this one of the fittest women in the world,
Yeah.
second to Tia. Like Laura's performance at the games last year was the best individual performance ever, except for Tia's that
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And you're gonna throw her a 16-year-old girl against Laura Horvath? What is it, like max handstand push-ups in 5 minutes? Is that the event? I don't understand. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, and then you have Justin Medeiros versus Saxon Panchak, which is gonna be a great matchup. Like, Saxon's super fit, Justin's super fit. I think they were both in, like, the top 10 or top
Yeah.
15 after, 22.1. So, that one I get. This one, I get Emma's a new up-and-comer, but damn, like, put her against the other teenagers. Like, give me
I
Mal
mean,
and
totally.
Emma.
I mean,
Emma.
she's a badass. I mean,
She is a badass.
she is gonna be absolutely like we're gonna be talking about her for years and years and years. But yeah, it doesn't.
We'll see, right?
That is very curious.
Yeah.
Very curious.
It's like, a poor girl. She's 16.
And I don't think we're gonna be doing handstands since we just did a bunch of handstand walks.
Right. So,
So
what else? Like, that's the only reason to put her against Laura. The only one. Because
Yeah.
Laura is amazing at everything else.
I know.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, well. You know what? Go for it, Emma. Just take her
Yeah.
out the knees.
Yeah.
Take her
Right.
out the
I mean, I
knees.
feel like those
I mean,
guys,
I
Laura
love Laura too. Laura's
Panchak.
awesome. I mean, she's just so fun to watch, but
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
this
what
is
is
assuming that they
Emma has nothing to lose. Take
right.
her
No,
knees
of
out.
course not. But like, she's mulling over going individual possibly. And here's the thing. This year, she has to make a choice
Yeah.
because she can't do semifinals and the age group online qualifier or the semifinals for the teenage division. She can't do that. You could do that last year.
Yeah.
You have to pick this year. And I would hope, well, we'll see, right? I don't even know what's going to happen, but like, I would hope this experience doesn't scare her away from that. Like, if she goes out and gets rolled by Laura, I mean, she's 16. That's going to like, oh, maybe I'm not ready. I was like, you're legit, girl.
There's a lot of other women athletes you can put out there against Laura, and they'll get ruled by Laura. That's the hard part.
Just put Haley Adams out there.
You know?
Laura versus Haley.
Actually,
That seems more fair.
depending on what the event is, that could be an awesome.
That'd be freaking awesome. Yeah. And listen, I don't think they pick the athletes for the workouts that are programmed. They have never.
No, they never have.
They never done that. Maybe they are now because it's a new era, but it just is peculiar.
Totally.
We shall see. All right, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us live on YouTube. We appreciate the interaction. We appreciate the comments. And we're going to do this more often. A lot of these things we want to make more interactive with you guys. So make sure you guys like it, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Those of you guys that are already here, thank you for being here. And good luck. And we'll see what 22.2 is. Obviously, based off last week, it's going to be near Bills because that's how good we are. All right, everybody. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys next time.
Have a great week, everybody.